Hello, my name is Kyle Cohen and I'm a salesman for AccuTab Incorporated. AccuTab is a worldwide company specializing in water chlorination for industrial, public, and special sanitary uses. Today, my client will be Hunter Barrett. He's the owner of HB Farms located in Central Florida. He has expressed concern for a new chlorination system compared to his old gas system. I'll go over all the options available to him and any questions that he has, he can ask me and I'll answer them. Come in. Hello, Mr. Bear. How are you?
Good, Kyle. How
Nice
you
to
doing?
see you. So, after our talk last week, setting up this meeting, I got the idea that you wanted a new chlorination system.
Well, we're having a great harvest so far. We're ahead of schedule, haven't had any breakdowns. Hopefully we keep busy and finish up in about 2 weeks.
That sounds great. I'm glad your planning worked out so well. Any plans for once the season's done?
Yeah, once we wrap this up, I'm planning on heading to the Bahamas for doing some fishing a few times. Hopefully the weather stays good.
Nice.
Doesn't get too rough.
Nice. I bet you and the family will love that well-deserved break. So after talking with you on the phone, I went over some of your options and you expressed your interest in a new chlorination system to replace your current gas setup.
Yeah, I'm having some problems getting steady rate for my applied chlorine. And throughout the day, and with the FDA standards getting stricter, I'd like to have a more reliable system as long as it's not going to cost me an arm and a leg.
Yes, yes. I'm sure that you know that's a very common scenario as other producers in the industry are also phasing out their gas chlorine systems for a more accurate approach. The AccuTab system delivers a constant application of steady chlorine from whatever range you desire to set it to. With your current gas chlorine application, you're having to check the levels every hour, correct?
Yeah, it seems like I'm getting a different reading every time I check.
Well, that's the benefit to the AccuTab system. There's no checking, especially hourly checking like you're having to do, since you have a desired application rate. If you take a look at this time analysis I set, you can see the amount of time that you'll save just from not having to check every hour, shut down your flume, you don't have to stop operations, no one's standing around while you're having to check your gas chlorine levels by hand. So kind of saves you a whole bunch of time, makes operation a whole lot easier to run, and you're not stopping your flume every hour just to make sure you're being safe.
Nice. I'd love to avoid the hassle of shutting down every hour. We run 3 different produce each season, and that requires a large amount of calibration to specific parts per million needed.
Yes, I know that's a large amount of time lost in the flow of production. So that being said, are you ready to place your order and schedule your installation?
I'm not quite sure just yet. I'd like to see an AccuTab setup and place it in another farm. Do you think you give me a list of references or past clients who've switched to AccuTab?
Yes, I can. I actually have a whole list, and I have 3 other clients just in your county that have already switched over from their gas setup to AccuTab. So we got a couple places we can look really quick that would show you an in-person example of the benefits of the AccuTab system. But since we're here right now, let me just show you the process, start to finish, of what goes through on your flume setup, and if you had AccuTabs from start to finish, what's going to happen. So as you can see, you've got start, comes in a tablet form, easy to load, steady application rate as to whatever you set it to, exposed to the water, no safety hazards or anything like you have consumed with your gas setup. As it goes through, you can see comes out of the pump, runs into your flume, and you can run it from a spray bar straight onto your produce and also the water intake straight over the produce. So your whole product is covered in chlorinated water, disinfecting it, basically making it safe for all your consumers, and also adhering to all the FDA guidelines. It also makes it a lot easier for when you get audited by the FDA. When they come, they're not having to physically test your water and spend all that time hitting different point sources that run into your food. You have a real easy to read meter that shows what parts per million it's coming in at, what parts per million it's coming out at, and it makes it a whole lot easier for the auditor, which I'm sure you don't want to sit with them for a long amount of time and let them find mistakes that you may or may not have made. So I could actually even email this to you just so you have a steady diagram to always look at, know what's going on in your system. And besides that, we can definitely schedule an appointment to go look at another physical farm's operations and see how they're running on their AccuTabs and how they like it compared to the gas setup.
Okay.
So, any other questions or concerns containing your switch to AccuTabs?
Well, I'd definitely like to hear more about the application and some general costs for my price range. Maybe some alternative products out there and what's available to keep the cost down.
Okay. So, you would like to hear more about lower price chlorinators as costs are concerned, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Well, one of the advantages of the AccuTab systems is the ability to tailor it to your needs and budgets. I recommend the top of the line AccuTab model just due to the ease of use it allows, but I know you may prefer a simpler version to keep the cost down. But before we look at pricing, let me show you what happens to your insurance when you get off of your gas setup and switched over to a safer alternative such as the AccuTab system. Here you can see the last 3 farms, and they're actually in Florida, that switched over. Their insurance went from $1,200 a month to $275 once they got away from the dangerous gas-chlorine combination as their water safety issue. So there's obviously a cost associated with purchasing this, installing it, switching over, but you immediately assume it when your insurance is severely decreased.
Yeah, I really didn't imagine how much my gas system was costing me. Really increased our cost of insurance as well.
Yeah, you could see just, 2/3 of a majority of a common farm that switches over to AccuTabs, their insurance costs are reduced by 2/3. And I'm sure you know the dangers of using gas chlorine between the transport associated with it, the storage you have to have, being locked up and in a safe place where nothing bad could happen to it, and the odorless traits associated with it. If you have a leak, you're not going to be able to smell it. It's just slowly going to creep over everyone. You'll also not be required to have any of the safety suits, gas masks, worker training every year that has to happen for OSHA standards, which kind of frees up some more time for productivity and also cuts down on cost as you don't have to have all of that safety equipment within a close distance to your gas. With the list of references I gave you, I can say almost all of them have saved more money on their insurance than they paid for the system. And that, again, is a cost that you recognize every month as your price goes down and down and down. So I don't like to bring up the fact that your insurance goes down because then it kind of motivates you to purchase it just so you save money. There's also, I want you to purchase it just because it's safer. You get a much more steady rate, and the application is just kind of built for today's farmer. Besides that, we're also endorsed by Farm Bureau Association Insurance Company, which I'm sure you have. They just came out last year and kind of made it a point, if you're on gas, you're going to have to pay for it, kind of motivating people to switch over to AccuTabs or other safer alternatives as the gas.
Yeah, honestly, I'd love to cut down on my insurance. I mean, it's one of my biggest bills every month.
Well, that being said, now you think you're confident enough to go ahead and begin this scheduling and order process?
Yeah,
Alright.
I think you kind of worked through most of my major concerns. After our talk last week, you cleared them up pretty perfectly for me.
Nice. Well, I'd like to try having done before you leave for the Bahamas, so you're not thinking about work while you're trying to be on vacation. I'm honestly glad every farmer that we get, especially you, getting a quality company on board with us, and we kind of each make each other better. So I'm glad to be a part of your company's success. I hope you're glad to be a part of our company's success, and we could work together.
Yeah, look, I'm glad we're on the same page. I think I'm confident now to go ahead with switching our systems over to yours.
All right. Well, let me give you some of these pamphlets. We'll start going through and ordering. Like I said earlier, I obviously recommend this top of the line model, but it is and does have a lot of components that are very high tech, like modules and controllers. So let's go through, figure out which model you want, and we'll get it ordered, have it in within the next 2 weeks.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Tom.
Mr. Bear.
Appreciate it, man.